Have you ever caught yourself saying, I wish I'd taken better care of myself when I was younger? I know I have. I used to think being healthy at 70-something was all about luck, lucky genes, lucky breaks, lucky moments. But now, at 74, I've come to realize that health isn't just luck. It's a series of small choices we make every single day, and the amazing thing is, it's never too late to start making the right ones. If you had met me 20 years ago, you probably wouldn't have guessed that I'd one day feel better in my 70s than I did in my 50s. Back then, I was constantly tired. I'd wake up groggy, my back would ache, my knees felt stiff, and I'd reach for another cup of coffee just to get through the morning. I thought that was just getting old. Everyone around me seemed to say the same thing, that's life after 60. But deep down, I knew that couldn't be all there was. I didn't want to just survive my older years, I wanted to live them. And that's what led me to discover a few simple but powerful changes that completely turned my health around. These aren't secrets from expensive supplements or complicated workouts. They're quiet lessons, things that, honestly, I wish I'd learned decades ago. But learning them late is still better than never learning them at all. So today, I want to share with you the secret that made me healthier at 74 than I ever was before. And I hope that, no matter your age, it gives you the same sense of strength, peace, and hope that it's given me. It all started with one big realization: my body wasn't my enemy. For years, I treated it like an old car I was just trying to keep running. I'd complain when something hurt or didn't work like it used to. But one morning, while sitting outside with my tea, I had this quiet thought: what if my body isn't giving up on me? What if it's asking for help? That single thought changed everything. From that day on, I started listening, really listening, to what my body was telling me. When it was tired, I let it rest. When it felt stiff, I moved. When I was hungry, I paid attention to what I was craving instead of just eating out of habit. I began to realize that aging doesn't mean breaking down, it means learning how to work with your body, not against it. The first big change I made was how I started my mornings. For years, I rushed into the day, wake up, grab my phone, maybe a quick bite, then straight into errands or chores. I never gave my body a gentle moment to wake up. Now, every morning, I start slow. I sit up in bed and take 3 deep breaths, letting my lungs fill completely. Then I stretch, just gently, nothing fancy. My arms, my back, my legs. It takes less than 5 minutes, but it wakes up every part of me. You wouldn't believe the difference it makes. My energy feels steady all day, my mind is clearer, and my joints don't ache the way they used to. It's like my body says, thank you every morning. And that's the thing, health at our age doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from listening, from being gentle, from consistency. The second change was something I didn't expect to matter so much: how I talk to myself. For most of my life, I'd catch myself saying things like, I'm too old for that, or well, I can't do what I used to. It sounds harmless, but those little phrases sink deep. They convince your mind to give up long before your body does. So, I made a decision. I stopped using age as an excuse. Instead of saying, I'm too old to go for a walk, I started saying, I'll take it at my own pace. Instead of, my memory's not what it used to be, I began saying, I'm still learning every day. It might sound silly, but those words started to shape how I saw myself. And when you change how you see yourself, your body follows. I remember one day, my grandson asked if I wanted to join him for a walk around the park. Normally, I would have said no. I would have told him my knees hurt or that I'd just stay home and rest. But that day, I said yes. I went slow, sure, but I made it all the way around the park. When we got back, I felt proud, stronger, and lighter, both in body and spirit. That's when it hit me: it's not about doing what you used to do. It's about doing what you can do, and celebrating that. And the third lesson, one that came to me a little later, was about food, not dieting, not restricting, but nourishing. I spent years eating whatever was easy. Toast in the morning, something quick at lunch, maybe a frozen dinner if I didn't feel like cooking. I thought food was just fuel, but now I see it's more than that, it's medicine. I started cooking more simple, real meals, fresh vegetables, a bit of fish, warm soups, things that comfort the body instead of burden it. I noticed that when I ate well, my mind felt sharper, my skin looked brighter, and even my mood lifted. It's almost like my body had been waiting for me to remember how to care for it. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that health isn't about going back in time. It's about giving yourself what you need right now. You can't control your age, but you can control how you treat yourself, the food you eat, the words you speak, the way you move, and the way you rest. Now that we've talked about how listening to my body, speaking kindly to myself, and nourishing it changed my health completely, there's still one more piece to this puzzle, something that ties it all together and keeps me feeling young not just in body, but in heart. Watching and feel that these insights are meaningful. Please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. After I began treating my body with kindness, listening, nourishing, and moving it gently, something unexpected happened. My mind started to change too. It was as if my thoughts finally began to catch up with the way I was living. I realized that being healthy at 74 isn't just about what you eat or how much you move, it's also about what you think and how you feel. For most of my life, I carried stress like a heavy coat I never took off. Worries about family, finances, health, you name it, I carried it. I didn't even realize how much that tension was weighing me down until I finally learned how to let it go. And believe me, that's something I wish I'd learned decades earlier. One morning, while sitting outside with my tea, I noticed how the birds seemed completely at peace. They weren't rushing, they weren't planning, they were just being. I thought to myself, if they can live that simply, why can't I? That moment taught me something powerful. Peace isn't something that finds you. You have to choose it. So I began practicing something small, just 5 minutes of quiet each morning. No phone, no TV, no noise. I'd close my eyes, breathe slowly, and remind myself that I was still here, still breathing, still part of this beautiful world. At first, it felt awkward, like I was wasting time. But after a week or two, I started to notice changes. My heartbeat felt calmer. My thoughts weren't racing when I woke up. And that constant tightness in my chest, that feeling of always being behind, it started to fade. It's amazing how much peace can heal. We spend our younger years chasing things, success, approval, more of everything. But at this stage of life, peace is the greatest luxury there is. And the truth is, you don't need to climb a mountain to find it. Sometimes, it's just sitting quietly in your favorite chair, letting yourself be. Another big change came when I started reconnecting, not just with people, but with joy. For years, I told myself that certain things were for younger folks. Dancing, painting, laughing too loud, I thought I had to tone myself down, act my age, whatever that means. But I started noticing something. The people my age who seemed happiest weren't the ones who were the fittest or richest. They were the ones who still played, who still found reasons to laugh. There's this woman at my community center, 78 years old, who joins the dance class every Friday. She doesn't care that her steps are a little slower, or that she sometimes forgets the moves. She just smiles and keeps going. When I asked her what keeps her so happy, she said, "Because I stopped trying to be young, I just started being alive." That hit me right in the heart. So, I started doing the things that used to bring me joy, listening to music while I cook, singing even if I'm off key, walking in the park without rushing. It wasn't about being perfect, it was about being present. Every moment felt lighter, and somehow, my body followed suit. My aches lessened, my sleep improved, and even my appetite returned to normal. You see, joy is medicine. It's not something you earn, it's something you allow yourself to feel. And when you do, your body thanks you for it. Your heart literally beats more evenly, your immune system strengthens, and your brain releases chemicals that keep you sharper and calmer. I didn't realize how powerful that was until I experienced it myself. But of course, not every day feels joyful. There are still mornings when I wake up stiff, or days when I feel lonely or a bit lost. The difference now is, I don't stay stuck there. Instead of fighting those feelings or pretending they don't exist, I give myself permission to feel them, and then I remind myself that everything passes, even the hard days. One of the biggest mistakes I made when I was younger was thinking strength meant keeping everything bottled up. I thought I had to handle things alone. But as I've grown older, I've learned that real strength is softer. It's being honest about what hurts, reaching out when you need help, and forgiving yourself for being human. I'll never forget a conversation I had with my neighbor, an 80-year-old man who lost his wife a few years ago. I asked him how he managed to keep smiling through everything. He told me, "I don't smile because I forget her. I smile because I remember how lucky I was to have her." That taught me that healing doesn't mean erasing pain, it means finding gratitude inside it. And gratitude, I've learned, is the secret glue that holds everything together. Every morning, I try to think of at least one thing I'm grateful for. Sometimes it's my family, sometimes it's just the sunshine or the smell of coffee. Gratitude has a way of shifting your whole outlook. You start to notice how much you still have, instead of what you've lost. It's funny, when I was younger, I used to chase happiness as if it were something far away, something I had to earn through success or approval. Now I see that happiness was always hiding in the simple moments, a kind word, a good meal, a walk in nature, the laughter of people I love. It was all there, waiting for me to slow down enough to notice. The more I let go of the stress, the regrets, the what-ifs, the more space I found for peace and purpose. And that's when I realized, the secret to feeling younger isn't about turning back time. It's about living fully in the time you have now. As I look back, I can honestly say I spent too many years worrying about things that never really mattered. I wish I'd spent more of them enjoying the little things, being kind to myself, and staying connected to the world around me. But the good news is, it's never too late to start, and once you do, you'll feel the difference in every part of your being. Because when your heart is light, your body follows. And when your mind is at peace, everything else begins to heal. Now that we've talked about finding peace, reconnecting with joy, and rediscovering gratitude, there's still one final part of this secret, something deeper that ties everything together. It's what keeps me grounded, hopeful, and full of life every single day. As I sit here thinking about everything I've learned, it's clear to me now that the biggest secret to feeling healthy and alive at 74 isn't a pill, a diet, or even an exercise routine. It's a shift in how you see life. The secret is learning to wake up every day with curiosity instead of fear, with gratitude instead of regret, and with compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. You see, for most of my life, I thought I had to keep pushing, achieving, proving something. Even after retirement, that habit stuck with me. I'd wake up with a list of things to do, chores, errands, obligations, as if I was racing time itself. But somewhere along the way, I realized time isn't an enemy. It's a companion. And when you stop running against it, you finally get to walk beside it, calmly, gratefully, and fully awake. The truth is, we spend so much of our lives chasing tomorrow that we forget how precious today is. We worry about the wrinkles on our faces or the numbers on our blood pressure monitor, but we forget the beauty of still being here, breathing, watching the sun rise again. When I finally slowed down enough to notice the little moments, the sound of rain, the taste of warm tea, the laughter of my grandchildren, that's when I started to feel truly alive again. It's funny, when I was younger, I thought happiness was something I had to go out and find. But now I know it's something you create every day through the choices you make and the thoughts you feed your mind. The people who live the longest, I've noticed, aren't necessarily the ones who eat perfectly or exercise every day. They're the ones who wake up with a reason, a sense of purpose, even if it's small. Maybe it's tending to the garden, calling an old friend, or learning something new. Purpose gives your heart direction. It keeps your spirit moving forward. That's why, every morning, before I even get out of bed, I ask myself one simple question: what's one good thing I can do today? It doesn't have to be big. Sometimes it's smiling at a stranger. Sometimes it's writing down a memory I don't want to forget. Sometimes it's just being kind to myself. That question helps me remember that every day is a gift and that I have the power to make it a good one. Another part of this secret, one that took me far too long to learn, is forgiveness. Not just forgiving others, but forgiving myself. When you get to my age, you carry a lifetime of memories, and not all of them are pleasant. There are mistakes, things you wish you'd said, things you wish you hadn't done. But holding on to those regrets is like trying to walk forward while looking backward. You miss the path right in front of you. I had to learn to say, I did the best I could with what I knew then. That simple sentence lifted a weight I didn't even know I was carrying. When you let go of guilt and regret, you create space inside yourself, space for joy, love, and peace. I think about how much energy we waste wishing we could go back and fix things. But life doesn't ask us to be perfect. It just asks us to keep growing. Every scar, every wrinkle, every mistake, they're all proof that we've lived, learned, and loved. When I see my reflection now, I don't wish for the face I had at 40. I'm grateful for the face I have today, because every line tells a story, and every story is part of who I've become. And that, I think, is the heart of it all. The secret I learned too late is that health isn't just about the body. It's about the spirit. It's about living with kindness, forgiveness, and a sense of wonder. When you nurture those things, your body follows. You stand taller, you breathe deeper, you laugh more. I won't pretend that aging is easy. There are hard days, moments when your body aches, when you miss the people who are no longer here, when the world feels like it's moving too fast. But even in those moments, there's beauty to be found. The way the morning light hits the kitchen table. The warmth of your favorite sweater. The simple fact that you're still here, with stories to tell and wisdom to share. If there's one message I hope you take from this, it's that it's never too late to start living differently. No matter how many candles are on your birthday cake, your heart still has room to grow. You can still change how you treat yourself, how you speak to yourself, and how you see the world around you. Take that walk, even if it's short. Cook yourself a good meal. Call that friend you've been thinking about. Laugh, even if it's for no reason. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, instead of rushing into the day, take a deep breath and whisper, "Thank you." Because gratitude, that's where health begins. I know now that the reason I'm healthier at 74 than I ever was at 50 isn't because I found some miracle cure. It's because I learned to slow down, to care, to forgive, and to love this body and this life just as they are. And that's something I wish I'd understood sooner, but I'm so grateful I finally do. So, if you're watching this, and you've ever thought it's too late to change, too late to start, too late to feel good again, please believe me when I say, it's not. Every morning is another chance to begin again. And if this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's one lesson you've learned in your life that you wish you'd known sooner? Share it in the comments below, because your story might just inspire someone else. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more conversations about living fully, staying healthy, and finding joy at any age. Thank you for being here and sharing this time with me. Here's to growing older with grace, gratitude, and a smile. Here's to waking up every morning knowing that life still has so much to give. And here's to you, because no matter where you are in your journey, your best days can still be ahead of you.